Feeling a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Hello, friends. Happy Monday. Welcome to the R.I.F.T Nation Network and Mysteries Beyond the Scenes, true crime at its best, and mysteries as well. Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. Hello, Hitman. Hello, Miss Linda, your name. It doesn't say Facebook user. Hello, Lee. Hello, Miss Tammy. Welcome in, everybody. I hope everybody is having a fab Monday. You know, it's Monday. But, I can't thank you guys enough for spending your mid-Monday evening with me. Some of you are on Central. Some of you are on, like Linda, Western time. So it's like we have all different time zones represented. I hope everybody, we made it through the eclipse. Linda posted beautiful pictures of the eclipse along with a great video. It rained here. We couldn't see any of it. Cloudy, rain, nada, nothing. I just had to look at everybody else's pictures. So I enjoyed seeing Linda's because then I could see it. And like we all know, this eclipse was in Libra, which is the balancer, the peacemaker. Although there's not a lot of peace going on now, but I have some news. I looked ahead this week. I looked ahead because I thought, what is going on in the world? This is crazy. It's crazy. I mean, but if you just sit very still for a minute tonight, you can feel a calmness. Now, I know if you don't turn on the news because it's a mess, but there is a calm that is in the energy that wasn't there last week or the week before it. Actually, the week before it. There is a calmness. And I thought, what is this calm? Well, I took allergy medicine. Maybe it's the Benadryl or something. No, it's not. We have this week two wonderful things happening. We have what's called a Cassimi. A Cassimi is when a planet kisses the sun. I call it a kiss. It's when the planet is like right directly with the sun, so the sun will brighten it. It's called a Cassimi. They're like that close to one another. This week we have a Cassimi with Mercury, which means open dialogue, open talking, great conversations. Mercury is in Libra, which is a beautiful sign for peace. Good. That's wonderful. Let's keep our fingers crossed on the Cassimi. You will notice you can feel the Libra energy this week. We also have this week, starting probably about Wednesday, we are going to have a Venus. And we all know what Venus is: love, relationships, big money, peace. She's the queen, is in a beautiful trine. And a trine is 120 degrees away from, it's a great aspect. It's a blending of the energies. Jupiter is abundance, blessings. Good. I mean, Jupiter's like Santa Claus. I call it Santa Claus, but it's abundance, makes everything bigger. So this week, starting Wednesday, probably through to about Monday, we are going to have this beautiful energy going on. So if you stop quietly and feel it just a little bit, you'll start to feel this calm. So I took it a step further and I thought, well, I'm going to peek at Israel's chart. Where does that grand trine hit Israel's chart? Well, Israel, their ascendant is Libra. That eclipse hit right on Libra's ascendant, or Israel's ascendant. And that was the beginning of this mess we're in. So, to make a long story short, this Jupiter trine is going into the 9th house, meaning it's going to connect. Look for, I hope, we'll all say our prayers, look for a prior leader. There's a lot of behind the scenes talks going on. 8th house is where Jupiter is. I think it's going to be either a past ruler or a past king or somebody from the past, because Jupiter's in retrograde. So that means somebody from the past is going to come in with some peace negotiations. So all of us light our candles, we'll talk to Venus, get that Venus trine going, because we need it right now in the world. So I thought, man, I'm going to put in some good news for a change. Past 3 weeks have been, oh crap, I can't sugarcoat this. We saw it coming. 2024 has got some interesting things too that I'll talk next week on Keith's show about. But I wanted to give everybody a little bit of good energy info. Welcome, Miss Susan. How are you? Susan is on. Hi, Kath. How are you, Kathy? And Miss Susan shared. Thank you. Renee shared. Miss Kathy is here. Thank you all. Hi, everybody. Hi, Kath. I hope I got everybody. I think I did. But I thought that was great information. So I hope everybody feels this energy, and let's just spread good vibes out too. I think we all need it, but feel the calm. Feel a little bit calmer. I cannot thank you guys enough last week for your participation too in the show. I was so thrilled. It was so exciting because we've got so many talented clairvoyants that listen in. And if you all see anything, feel anything, hear anything, especially here right now, hearing is important right now on this eclipse energy for clairaudience, especially air energy. Hearing is big right now with your clairvoyance. If you ever get things on any of these cases, just put it in. If you don't want to type it in the chat room, send me an email. I read them all. And another thing, it was just wonderful to see everybody getting all those feelings. And I have always said that clairvoyants bounce off of one another. And their energy really, it's great to have a whole collection. That's why the government uses groups of remote viewers. They're all in groups because the energy bounces off of one another. And actually, psychics are better in a room and in a group together because of the energy. They're all vibing about at the same level. So it really, we all play off of one another. So, and I know Lee, and all the girls have been really following that case with little Cherry, and I know she appreciated it. And it's one case at a time when you do missing cases. It doesn't, and I don't care how cold a cold case it is. It could go back to 1965. And we've got one that we're going to look at that Linda sent to me, which I'm going to do next week. And that's another exciting one. Thanks, Keith. And just another note, following this show tonight on the Otter's Den, Keith is going to have a dating coach on. Yes, a dating coach. Right in the middle, Keith, of a Venus grand trine with Jupiter. There is going to be so much love in the air this week into Monday. If you can't get a date with this aspect and this transit, I don't know what to do. I mean, it's Venus and Jupiter, and it's a trine. So Wednesday till about Monday or so, enjoy it. Enjoy it. So tonight, don't forget the Otter's Den. And also, Keith has made it to the finals. Keith has made it to the finals on his voting for the, oh crap. Keith, why do I never remember what the Face of Horror, right? Face of Horror. I got it. Face of Horror. He's in the contest. He's made it to the very end round. He's been really doing well. So we got to remember to vote for Keith this week. Thank you all so much for that too. Also, prayers out to to Miss Tammy Johnson. She is going to, Tammy, I don't want to date. I enjoy being by myself. You know, me too, but we don't know. Somebody might come along. We don't know, Tammy. It might just be somebody, might meet somebody. Never know. And a big shout out tonight, and also to Miss Tammy. Everybody light a candle for her tonight. Say a little prayer. She's got searches this week to send all good vibes to her and protection, and to keep her and the dogs and the horses safe for her. And Lee, stop. No matchmaking, Lee. That's why Keith is going to have a coach on, so the coach can tell us what to do. I bet he's a Libra. Keith is in the quarterfinals. Face of Horror. Yes, good job. Face of Horror. I remembered it, Keith. See, I forget everything, but I remembered Face of Horror. But I kind of cheated. It was on my phone. It was on my phone. So I think I got everything tonight. I told you, I will keep our fingers crossed for what's going on across the ocean. Say our prayers. We've got some good breakthrough energy coming through. And I'm working on charts. It was a busy week, so I will get charts out this week for people too, and pray all that goes well. Yeah, we got to say some prayers. Prayers have to go out, and they help. We all know that. Keith, I did sketch the man I saw for Tammy. When she sees him, she will know. Interestingly, very interesting. Well, the case tonight. This is a very interesting case, you guys. This is an interesting case. Now, go back to Spotify when under R.I.F.T Radio. We were on R.I.F.T Radio in 2022. And you will see the case of Aidan Clune, where I interviewed his mother, Amy. She came on the show. So I will give you the basic information regarding Aidan, her son's disappearance. However, for a more in-depth interview with Amy, his mother and I have remained text. We text, we talk. We've remained in touch with one another. And she's a wonderful, wonderful woman. She has never stopped looking for her son, which mothers don't do that. They never stop. There is a group called the Ruby Mountain Rebels that are in the desert area. I'll show you all of Nevada. They have really helped out in the mountain ranges with searches for Aidan, because as you'll be able to see from the slides, this is very dangerous terrain. And Tammy, wait till you see this terrain. I mean, you talk about having dogs and search and people on these ATVs, and it's snow and it's cold, high elevations up in the mountains of Nevada. So they have to know what they're doing. So they have really stepped up and helped Amy. And the reason I'm also bringing light to this is I know we all share the wanted posters out, share it on social media, because of the fact there have been some unsubstantiated, what people think may be sightings of Aidan in Salt Lake City. Now, it's not to say that they are, but people are coming forward thinking they may have seen him. So even if there is any chance that one of these posters we can make the rounds with the missing posters again. Again, it was a year ago. Somebody in that area may spot him. So that's again why I wanted to bring up Aidan's case again and show you all what happened with his case. I'll give you a little bit of background. Like I said, find the Spotify Mysteries Beyond the Veil under R.I.F.T Radio Network. And I did a whole hour interview with Amy where she goes into very, very detail on Aidan's disappearance. Now, what had happened, they are based out of Sonoma, California. And you're like, well, how did he disappear out to Salt Lake City or to Nevada? Well, Amy will get into this. And Aidan was a teenager, 18, 19 teenager, April 27th, 2022. He was experiencing a little bit of depression. So he was put on medication. Amy started to see the changes occurring in Aidan's behavior. She will go into all of that. She tried very hard to reach out to the psychologists, psychiatrists, the mental health people, but he was considered an adult. So therefore, they wouldn't speak to her. And she was seeing drastic changes in how his behavior was. He was beginning to become paranoid. He was a great kid that loved his job, and then he began to be frightened when the doors weren't locked, etc. Just a lot of paranoia behavior. So was it the medication? Who knows? But from his behavior after his disappearance, I think it's safe to say that there was something drastically wrong. So needless to say, on the morning on April 27th, he checked out at 6:23 in the morning. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for y'all. In this area, in this hotel. He was seen on video surveillance footage leaving this hotel, and the population of this town, Wells, Nevada, was 1,000 people. Now, Aidan was in Wells, Nevada because he had decided he was going to go visit his grandparents in Salt Lake City. Well, what had happened is there was an episode in Salt Lake City, a paranoia type of an episode where he ran from his grandparents' house. So he stayed in this hotel. He was in contact with Amy constantly. Is the door locked? Is the room locked? And Amy was doing her best to say, yes, it's fine. You're safe. Just get here. Okay. So she was in constant communication with Aidan. So on April 27th, 2022, at 6:23 in the morning, he was seen on the video footage leaving the hotel. Now, this little area has a population of 1,000 people. It's the crossing point between two major highways. East to west is Interstate 80. Then Route 93 travels north to south. That Wednesday morning, he drove his 2007 Nissan Frontier south along US Route 93. Now, here are some pictures. There you go. That is the area he was driving in. As you can see, this is, we picture Nevada as being Las Vegas and lights and Reno, but it's actually desert and there's mountains and it's desolate. I mean, I was really shocked. I had no idea at this. I had no idea. Now, he was driving in his truck and he stopped near this town called Curry. It's considered a ghost town. There are only 20 people that live in this town. The town sits about 5,000 feet above sea level and it's surrounded by mountains. And they go 8,000 feet up. Eastern Nevada, they go 8,000 feet up. Now the sky, it was chilly that morning. It was in the 40s that morning. in April. So it was chilly. So he pulled over to the side of the road and has never been heard from or seen since. This is a sketch that will show you, and Tammy, I'm sure you will recognize this. This is where they have searched for Aidan. So what happened is Aidan left his wallet, the keys, his belongings in his truck. And he ran when he saw the police pull over to check out, a deserted car. And that was around 8 a.m. So the only thing that Amy could have concluded is that he was frightened. He was frightened. He pulled over on the shoulder of the road. Now, did the truck break down? Did they have, it showed where he Googled spark plugs. What did the truck break down? We don't know. He took off running. And then Amy will also tell us, and there's a picture of little Aidan, just darling. And what happened is Amy used to tell him, when you ever felt like things were getting too much, take your shoes off and just plant your feet in the dirt on the earth. And Keith and I always say that. Go outside, walk in the grass, ground yourself. So when they tracked Aidan, they would find where he would take his shoes off, and then he would run, and then he would put his shoes on. So Amy wasn't quite sure if that's what happens, if that's what happened, hence the footprints that they did find. Now, that is where they found a footprint of Aidan, and it matched the footprint that his shoes were off to the right of the sole of his shoes, and there is the actual picture of the footprint. Now, see, at 8:50 a.m., they did not, the police showed up there at the truck. They didn't see Aidan. The only thing that he took was his phone. Now, the wind that day began to go up to about 30, 40 miles an hour. The temperatures were dropping. And this whole time, I think what was so frustrating for Amy too, she was calling law enforcement. Oh, that wasn't my area. That's so-and-so's area, saying my son is in trouble. Something is really wrong. So, but her interview is wonderful. She's a wonderful lady. Now, I did a chart. We'll take a look at his chart. That was from 8:07 a.m. in the morning. Clearly it shows him hiding from law enforcement on the actual natal chart, on the event chart in the morning, because the 10th house, if you all remember, that's law enforcement. He's represented, and he's hiding. He's hiding from an older male. That was the police. Neptune and Jupiter are together. What does that tell us? That tells us drugs exaggerated the condition. It's all there. It is all so there on the chart. Now, this was the 8:07 a.m. chart. And sure enough, one of the lines went to Salt Lake City. Now, I don't know, it's worth getting posters out at Salt Lake City. It's worth people still putting his name out, getting his name out there so that we can share his information. So what I did, and what has happened is, as things transgressed with the case, I interviewed her in 2022. I knew that Ruby Mountain Rebels, they had been doing searches, and they have searched everywhere on this mountain. Now, a private investigator got into the phone records, and they found out that I used the 8:05 a.m. Aidan's phone pinged at 8:30 p.m. southwest, 20 some miles. He had walked or run 20 some thousand, 20 miles, 21 miles. So, and no one knows what condition he was in. They have not found clothing. They have not found a phone. They have found nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. But what's interesting is there was another 12:20 a.m. ding from his phone, which I'm going to do a 12:20 a.m. chart as well. Because when I look at, and this is what is kind of sketchy with, I hope you all can see that pretty good. It's kind of sketchy with event charts. When I did the later chart, which is 8:07 p.m., it shows that he was in the mountains because that's the fifth house. Mountains, places that people go to. I think, this was a tough event chart to read. That 8:07 p.m. chart was tough to read. Clearly, he was in that area. But I couldn't glean a whole lot out of this chart as to, there's nothing in the house of death. There is, Pluto is in the third house, which represents him. Is he in the area? This chart didn't give me any of the clues that the 8 a.m. chart did. So when I mapped this particular chart, and remember, we map from each individual chart that's put up there. Let me see. It's over here. The area goes north. If you can see, the majority of the lines is due north to where that last ping occurred. Where that pin is at that 8 p.m. ping up by that ravine. It's up there. So my suggestion would be to the searchers to definitely keep searching north. Now, if you can see off to the right of the road is the highway, the stretch of highway he was on. They do know that he made it up to the mountains. They have searched and searched and searched. Like I said, another line from that 8 a.m. event chart goes to Salt Lake City. So at the time, I remember on our interview, I told Amy to check the hospitals in Salt Lake City because a line went right there. Now, a year later, they're not sure if they're seeing sightings of him or not. Could somebody have picked him up? No one knows. So I thought it was important to get his missing poster out. I thought if the chat gets any feelings or any information that they wanted to pass on, that would be helpful as well. This is one of the biggest mysteries I've really ever, and I've done this for quite a long time. They didn't find anything. I mean, you would think they would find a piece of clothing or something. They have found nothing. So, okay, so Linda said, so he was so afraid of the police that he kept hidden. He would have been exhausted if he walked or ran for 26 miles. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, but if he was in some sort of frame of mind, would he have known? And I agree with that. And the temperatures that evening got extremely low for, so that's another thought, 26, 20 miles to run. And then he would hide in the bushes. Then he would run some more and then he would hide in the bushes. So there was this paranoia kept coming on over him. So why haven't they found anything? The phone, nothing. So I think it's a very big mystery, and they continue to search. They have searched this mountain over and over. But again, they're going to continue to search throughout the other cities, like the cities around Salt Lake City, in case perhaps a truck driver picked him up. We just don't, no one knows. So, Linda, those ghost towns have quite a few deserted homes. Some you can see through the open glass windows all the way down into the basement where floors are broken, where they had abandoned homes near any of the places close to where the footprints were. No, the footprints were more on the top of the mountain. There were none of the abandoned homes, not to my knowledge, Linda, that were up there. But that would be a place to shelter from the wind and the weather. So that could have been a place for shelter if there were any in that area. But that's a great point. But where the footprints were, no, they were more by where the phone pinged. I think I'd have to go. There's the picture of the footprints, and that's really the last that they tried. They brought in mountain trackers, people that were experts in the field, and this is the last part that he was tracked. The glass would be broken as well. Some of these remnants of homes are pretty far apart. Sure. So if anybody gets any information on Aidan Clune, like I said, he went missing in 2022 in April. They have not stopped looking. She also has, if you're interested in getting more information, I'll give you there's the missing poster that you can copy and paste or go to. Now here, Tammy, is where they have searched. And this was in the initial stages a year ago. This was the police alone. This does not include the searchers that have been searching for up to a year for him. So I'm sure they have gone all around this mountain area. But from the lines on the chart, I would say go due north. From the lines on the chart, we just don't know. See, and it's a ghost town. And here again, if you look at those mountains, that's the road and the mountains that he went missing on. So if anybody has any information regarding him, please, and let me get you her information. The Elko County Facebook page, they have a Missing Aidan Clune private Facebook group. She also has a GoFundMe and a Bring Aidan Clune Home on her GoFundMe. Check it out, Tammy. And if you have any suggestions or any information, if anybody feels anything or has any information that they would like to, that they feel, let me know. And I mean, the chart, like I said, the 8:07 a.m. chart clearly shows where he was hiding. He took off in Mercury, the truck. Once again, no indication. And when we do charts, again, we look at the fourth house, which is on a natal chart, is roots, home. In an event chart, it is the end of the matter. We call it womb to the tomb. It's called the IC, end of the matter. That usually will tell us, that's one of the indications that someone might not be living. And then also in the eighth house, which is the house of Scorpio or transformation and or death. And both of these charts that I have done with him, there's no activity in those charts. That doesn't mean anything. We rarely, to be responsible, we rarely say, well, I think they're gone or they're not. You can never give up hope. You never give up hope until you find them. You just can't say it. But all indicators are not there. It is very weird. And Linda says, it's so odd that the footprints just stop like that. The trackers would probably have noticed it. Look like a storm could have covered up the track. How far off the road was that last footprint found? 20 miles. Ooh, Tammy's got information. So weird. There have been at least 3 other similar cases. In that area, Tammy? We'll let Tammy chime in on the chat. And Lee, the numbers 2048 keep coming over and over again. I'll write that down. Maybe that could be like a longitude or latitude. Abandoned houses, abandoned properties, 2048. Then there's our favorite mother, our love. We love Kathy. There's Miss Kathy. I'm here, Tammy. Hi, Kath. 2 in Houston. Well, how odd. 2 in Houston. What were they? The cars were just abandoned and they left? And they left the keys and their belongings and everything? That's interesting. It's interesting. Could the footprints have deliberately been covered up by someone who may have picked him up and not wanted him found? That's a long way to cover up a trail of tracks, but it is possible. I think anything's possible, Linda, and that's a great point. How did the footprints continue to go? Were they manipulated by the wind or the weather? That's something that the trackers could answer. But I think you have to look at all avenues. I think you have to look at everything and not leave any stones unturned. And Tammy, yes, paranoid, left everything, saw the police, and hid. You mean the 2 cases in Houston were just like this? When did those happen, Tammy? How interesting is this and why? Why has this happened? Why is this happening to the kids? So apparently, Tammy has revealed to us that there were 2 cases like this in Houston. Paranoid, left everything, saw the police, and hid. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Okay, and Lee is saying that happened in PA too. What, another case where somebody was off on the side of the road and they left their keys and their wallet and everything in and just took off? This is almost like the people that go into those state parks. There's a guy that says that people just up and disappear out of state parks all over the country. Tammy, at least 3 or 4 within the last 2 years. That's interesting, Tammy. I'm going to look into that. Very interesting. Yes, Colorado choppers came here. Colorado choppers. MPA. I don't know who they... It would be interesting for me to look up these similar cases and get a timeline and construct the chart to see if there are any similarities in any of these charts. The very first chart of Aidan gave me all the information I needed. It was boom, 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 boom. I got it. And that's how they usually are when I look at them. Okay, here it is. Boom, 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 boom. And then I got to the 8 p.m. chart and I just stared at it. I'm like, what? I don't even know what I'm looking at. Nothing. Nothing was jumping out at me. And that's weird. That's weird too. Weird, right? This whole story is now weird. Exactly. It really needs to be looked into. Yes, one called family member because he ran out of gas yesterday. We need to look. I'm going to research these. If you all know the names, thanks for the rabbit hole, guys. Yes, Linda, it was. Yes, was the state of mind showing up in his chart. Yes, I'm going to show it to you. And I thought I had the this chart on here. I'm going to circle it for you. I thought I had this, and I didn't. See where I've circled that? He's the moon. Neptune, which is the one that looks like the little arrow, the 3 prongs, is right there. Neptune would show you that someone could be either on medications or just was not with it, or there were mental things going on. And Jupiter, which looks like the number 4 sign, is amplifying it. Something is exaggerating his mental facilities. So, yeah, it's all over the chart. Then in the 8 p.m. chart, it's like, what happened? I don't know. It's very bizarre. Very bizarre. This is great information, you guys. Okay, Lee is saying Albert Leroy Copper was reported missing to authorities by his family when he left for work at 3:45 a.m. and never returned home. His car was discovered at 2:30 a.m. Okay, that's 2013. Do we have any more recent ones as well? And did they ever find Mr. Copper? This is crazy. I didn't know that there were other cases like this. I'm going to check into them, though, because I think, like I said, it would be very interesting to look at the charts and see what they say. Very interesting, you guys. Very, very interesting. But thank you for that. If you get any more information, please let me know. Please PM me. Let me know. And Lee, okay, Lee, I'm looking into the case now. Okay, thank you. That's great. So you guys, this time flies by on the cases, doesn't it? I've got another case picked out next Monday. It is the case of, I don't know if I should, it's Jennifer. I'm not going to tell you guys. I'll just show it to you next week. I was told Hazmat was there, interestingly. But it's a case down in Florida. She has been missing for quite a while, but her perp apparently was caught on video. So they've never found her. They found her car, never found her. But I've got pictures of the video too. So we're going to take a look at that case next Monday night. So remember, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. And remember that immediately following, in about 10 minutes, Keith Ottersberg will be on here with a dating coach. I'm going to refresh my iced tea and get some pointers from the dating coach. So tune back in to RNN. Thanks again, you guys. Enjoy this energy this week too, friends, because we need it. We need some good energy. We need some Venus vibes. So, but this is another episode of True Crime. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. And we will all be listening to the dating coach. I can't wait. What does a dating coach do? I don't know. So don't forget to tune into our other shows on R.I.F.T Nation Network. Tonight, within another 15 minutes, will be Keith with the Otter's Den. On Tuesday, Raven's Flock at 8 p.m. Eastern readings. She is the Viking spiritual. She knows everything about energy, crystals, readings, just a great show. 8 p.m. on Tuesdays. And then Thursday and Friday, Crazy Cat Lady, 11 a.m. on Wednesdays. We have Howie, our favorite hitman, with all information, everything that's going on in the world, news, social media news, anything and everything. He will update you at 11 a.m. And then Love Shack, 11 a.m. on Saturdays. And the Orion Effect with Miss Rhonda and the Hitman at 7 p.m. on Sunday evenings. So with that, have a great week. Enjoy this energy. And I will see you guys next Monday for another true crime missing person case, that another mystery that we can all put our heads together and try to solve. So everybody have a great week. Enjoy your week. Enjoy this lovely energy that we got going on. So have a great night. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for sharing. Have a good night. Good night.